Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. As we left the last time, was working on the cabinet of the Aviola 502. Now, I follow several folks on these on restoring radios, on the videos, on the YouTube channel. One is the Restore Old Radios. I really enjoy his videos. John from Arkansas. Buzz 1151. I enjoy watching all those, and I've learned from them. And I try to take a little bit of philosophy from John in Arkansas about this is our hobby, and that you do the best you can, and you're doing it for your own satisfaction. I'm not doing it for a living. Every time I do something on a radio, I learn something, and that to me that's important to me. And when I get done and make it work, that's gratification for me, and that's the reason I'm doing it. And so if it ever got to the point that it was frustrating, or I'm on a time constraint or something like that, then I wouldn't probably do it. So anyway, today's I'm going to go on the veneering just the front of the cabinet. As you remember, I'm going to have to route these windows out, but I put out on the Antique Radio forums a picture and say, can somebody tell me what these are? So I got two great posts, good advice, detailed, and I appreciate that. One was from Poston, and very detailed, and his recommendation, and all of it makes sense, and is to veneer the front of it before we do the rounding. So that's what I'm going to do today, is veneer this part of it. And I'm going to show you the selection and my thought process of why and how I'm doing this. Now, if I'm doing this wrong, or you see something that I can improve on, please speak up. Nobody enjoys criticism, but constructive criticism I can take, and because I learn from it, and some people don't know how to give constructive criticism. They like to be ugly about it. But
I've cut my veneer.
I told you I was going to put the ends with masking tape to prevent the chipping or splitting. And these are my two pieces. And so I decided I was going to make my joint right around the radio knobs. So I went ahead off camera, and I went ahead and determined that I needed a short piece. This is going to be my top piece, so this is going to be about where the line's going to be. And so I only needed a small piece. So I took and I did this, and to go ahead and cut it. So I'm only going to use this piece of it, and I'll save that for something else. So I'm going to make the joints. So I'm going to fold it down like this. So what I'm going to do is you're going to join up right like this. So now I want to prep each corner or each edge of this so that they butt up perfectly. And I'm going to use my blocks of wood. So I'm going to take the tapes off, and hopefully I don't damage it. I didn't. And of course this goes like this so that the grains will match. And you know, is there a right way, wrong way? I'm sure there's, for a trained eye there is. But since this is, so I want to be able to join that together flawlessly right there. So I've got to prep this right here. So what I'm going to do, I've used some wax paper to put the first one on. And we're going to line them up perfectly with just a slight overhang. Then we're going to sandwich it together.
Okay.
And then we're going to take, after you get it sanded, memo, the wax paper didn't work, so that went away. Also, another thing is, even though I went down and I got some scrap wood to make these forms or these guides, and I estimated, and I was pretty doggone close, but I needed it for the length of this, so I needed to make sure this was long enough to take care of this. So we'll get this out of the way. Let's see what kind of fit we've got going here. Now, this will go along there, and then we're going to take and we're going to do this like this. Alright, that is a pretty good fit. Grains match up. Now this part right here won't matter because it's going to be cut out. But the main part is the two little sections on either side of the knob, and of course the knob will take care of some of that. Alright, I'll go ahead and basically all I'm going to do is prepare this, sand this, clean this real good, and then apply my wood glue, and then come back and apply this. What I may do, I don't have a roller. What I may do is get a piece of plywood and sit it on top, and I've got a 20-pound dumbbell I can set on top to press it against. And I'll probably remove this and go to a solid underneath so that it won't be moving back and forth or whatever, so it'll get a good solid press. I'll make sure all the air's out of it too before I apply all that. Alright, I'll let you, we won't watch glue dry on camera, so I think that part you'll be able to do. So anyway, yeah, I think that's going to work out good, and then later we'll experiment with some colors on some of this old the scrap veneer and go from there. Alright, that's it. Thanks. Okay, I've sanded the front of this and cleaned it. I've sanded the back of the veneer. I've applied some glue, and so I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to make sure that I get it fully distributed all over the place. And I'll do all this off. Okay. I've got that glue brushed on here in a good even coat. I'm using wood glue, Gorilla wood glue. Some people use rubber or contact cement, and the reason I like this glue is it gives me a little bit more time than the other, and I'm not in a hurry for it to really set. I've got it all day, rest of the afternoon tonight. So I've done that. Now, like I said, we're going to make the joint down around here. This is the one we're starting at the top. Now you can draw a line, but I think I can eyeball that good enough to get that on there. And then let's get the other one and butt it up there against that. Alright. Let's see if we can't get a good joint here. And let's see if I can press this down with a little wax paper. Get a good contact and get the air out of it before we apply the pressure to it. Make sure this is all butted up nice and neat. Now, what I told you I planned on doing is I put it on wax paper so that if it does stick, I can get it off. And those joints are going to be, I think they're going to look pretty good when I get them done. Alright, so I went and got a scrap piece of plywood, and the only requirement, I went to the shop, and the only requirement my wife has is to get the spider eggs off of it before I bring them in the house. So I'm going to put the weight on it, maybe one hurdle before I do it. Yeah. We'll let that sit for several hours. Overnight is the best. And I've got yard work to do, so I'll probably pick this up a little bit later on. And hopefully that'll be a good scene. Okay. We've let this sit. Had weight on it. Well over 24 hours. It's been several days. I've taken it up since then to get it up out of the way. With a lot of things going on with Easter week and family and Easter egg hunts today and all that. Just now gotten around to do it. So here's what we've got so far. Got the veneer on the front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this plywood, and I'm just going to go back with an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to trim all this out. And once we do that, if all looks good, then it'll be ready for the routing and the dressing of the two windows. I haven't heard from my friend with the woodworking shop. Now, I'm sure he's been busy also this week. But I don't want to burn my bridge with him because they wanted some more woodworking in the future. So I'll do this trimming off camera. I'll just trim it with the X-Acto knife, and it should be pretty straightforward because I've got the straight edges already with this. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I went around, cut with the X-Acto knife, got the small pieces. So a lot of this I can reuse somewhere else. Maybe the smaller ones I can use for testing my stain colors and what have you. But I hit a little bit with the sandpaper, knocked down the rough edges. Of course, there's a lot more finishing going to be. I didn't really concentrate on this area very much because this is where the routing and the finishing work is going to be around these two windows. So that'll be taken care of with the router and what have you. If you can see, the seams are almost flawless there. Of course, I have not used any grain filler or anything like that. So of course, that's going to have to happen here after a while, before we finish it. But I got a real good seam with that technique I showed you. So this is the old grill cloth. I was hoping to be able to reuse it because I thought it was really pretty for such an inexpensive radio. But as you can tell, it's not much. But so I found this particular piece on eBay, and I think it looks fairly well. I think it looks pretty good. And if I get this color, this stain just right, I think it'll pop. But anyway, that's pretty much it for now. Like I say, I'm waiting on getting this routed. I don't want to rush him because I may want to use his woodworking shop again someday. So this has been a busy week with Easter and everything like that. So it's taken several days for me to get around to doing this particular part of it. But that's it. Now I have a little bonus video towards the end. Part of the detective work. Some of this, the fun part that I like to do is figure out maybe where the radio came from and where it was used and stuff like that. So watch this next little clip and let me know what you think, because I think I'm on to something. Thanks for watching.